Okay, it's competition time now, and as Easter approaches, we have got a prize that'll have all you little bunnies out there hopping with excitement, as we are giving away an incredible £25,000. Just answer this question correctly to be in with a chance of winning, and the best of luck. 3 years ago, our first guest was on her way to becoming a successful model and television presenter until a vicious acid attack left her severely physically and emotionally scarred. Determined to rebuild her life, she's used her personal experience to help prepare the lives and confidence of people like her who are fighting for normality while living with a disfigurement. Please welcome Katie Piper. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Congratulations on a wonderful series. Yeah. It ends tonight is the last episode,
yeah, it's
isn't
the last one of 4 tonight, so yeah.
And is it true? It's been filmed over, what, about the last 18 months ago, so some of the series is fairly old, and then we're seeing right up until quite recently.
Yeah, right up until February, actually. So, yeah, when I'd had enough by then, yeah.
And how much of a difference has it made to you to go around and help people, like the girl that we just saw there? How much has it helped you?
I think it's been a real two-way thing, because, you know, I had great family and support and friends, but there's still that feeling of isolation because none of my friends had a disfigurement. So meeting those people, it was great to have new friendships, but also people that had been born with conditions and got through their entire life, adolescence, you know, really testing times, to actually give me advice as well. So it was really beneficial for both of us.
But like Kaylee said early on in the documentary, you know, she couldn't work out how you got past it, how you got past, you know, the going out and being more confident. How do you?
Well, I do think you can hit a brick wall, and I did as well. And I think that's probably why they all agreed to take part, because, you know, when you're embarrassed about the way you look, going on telly probably isn't the ideal next step, really. And it wasn't for me in the beginning either. But I think you just get to a point where you say, this is me, this is how I look, it's permanent, and I'm going to embrace it and make the best of a bad situation. And you kind of fake it for ages of being confident, and then actually it grows and organically comes, and then you are proud of it.
You threw yourself in the deep end making the series, because in a way, when they make a documentary about you, you're in it, you're filmed, and then it goes out. But once you make a series, it's all about you going out and telling a new story, isn't it?
Yeah, which was quite nice for me to take on a different role, more of a mentor. And you know what the first documentary did was kind of bring disfigurement to sort of the forefront, which was great. But I think what I was conscious of in this one was saying, actually, I'm not the only person out there, and there are people from lots of different backgrounds with different conditions that are suffering in silence, you know, all the time, and perhaps wouldn't get the chances that I've had to say how it is.
Have you looked back at the first episode and seen how far you've come? Because that's quite a big period of time, isn't it?
The actual first documentary,
yes.
I've only watched it once in my entire life. Yeah. So, and I think that is because for me it was sort of a bit of closure, and I kind of don't want to revisit that time again. I mean, when I look at pictures, and I kept journals, and I moved house just before Christmas, and I took all the journals with me, and I was reading some of them through, and I was like, oh gosh, I was actually mad, you know. But it was quite quite embarrassing actually.
The other thing is that you actually, by the end of it, managed to leave home, and you've now lived by yourself, or you live up in London. So in fact, you've kind of learned how to be by yourself again.
Yeah, which is strange. And actually, you know, when you talk about self-esteem, I think my self-esteem's higher now, because I was one of those awful people that always liked to have a boyfriend, didn't really like my own company, was always out and about, going to nightclubs, you know. So now I'm probably quite boring by my friends' standards, but now but I like being alone now.
And also,
you know,
I read your book last night, Katie, and it's absolutely, I could not put it down. And one of the things that really struck me was how wonderful your family is. Your mum, your dad, your brother, and your sister. It must have been terribly brave of you to leave the bosom of your family and return back to London where the attack happened. How did you get the strength to do that?
It was hard, and I think to the eye, everyone thinks the biggest thing I lost was, you know, beauty and my appearance, and people's kind of what they think is a compliment when they meet me is, oh, you're still really pretty, and you think, oh, that's quite patronising, and actually that's not the bigger picture, because the thing I lost was the independence of being an adult, you know, going back to having mum shower me and dress me and help me, and so that final piece in the puzzle was moving back. But it wasn't last time I left when I was 19. It was like, right, see you later, I'm going, not looking back. But it was quite, I cried actually when I moved out. So,
Katie, we've been talking earlier about forgiveness. And I can see at the beginning of your, there's no way you're going to forgive the person that did this to you. But having finished the TV series now, do you think there's any way that you can move on?
I was listening to what you were talking about. I was listening backstage and I was thinking it's such a personal thing. And I know what you were saying about James Bulger's mother. And I think really, if an apology is sincere, then surely, yes, it gives closure to you and the person that did this terrible thing to you. But if you're never, you know, in my personal situation, my attackers have never even admitted that they did it to me. So I'm nowhere even quarter of the way to them giving me an apology. So I don't know if I could give something that's never been asked of me.
Where do you go? Where do you go now, Katie?
Because
one of the most inspirational things about you is you've taken something which was so horrifically negative and turned it into a positive, not only for yourself, but for the people that you've met through your programme, and also the Katie Piper Foundation. How do you see yourself going now the series has ended? Is it just with your charity work? Or?
Well, yeah, I mean, the series has had a phenomenal effect on the charity. The website crashes every time a show goes out, which is great, though, because, you know, we've got lots of different resources for people. And I have had so many other people who perhaps wouldn't want to be on telly, but now have come and approached me, you know, as a consequence of seeing it. So that's, you know, growing, which is brilliant. So I'm kind of doing like 10-hour days at the charity and stuff. So yeah, and I've really enjoyed, you know, writing the book. I'm going to do some more writing as well. So, but
you don't mind the attention it brings you, because it's overwhelming. All of a sudden, everybody knows who you are. You're everywhere, aren't you?
Well, it's weird. It's like being a celebrity about the sex and the money. You know, it's like kind of strange. You know? And people like come up to me in the street and they think they're being really nice, and I'm like, oh God, because I sometimes get a bit jumpy. But it is positive attention, and it's mainly women, and it's nice, and actually, you know, it is good for my confidence and the people that have been in the programme. So it is nice.
I think the most positive thing to come out of it all is the fact that it really highlights to everybody how obsessed we are with the way we look.
Yeah.
Everybody. And, you know, I think it's a great lesson for people to just, you know, to be able to look at themselves and not, you know, pick holes and think I could be better looking here or whatever, because, you know, something like that could happen to them.
Yeah, and I think as a general we have to get over things, because, like, you know, when I look in the mirror I think, OK, you know, I've got a scar down here, but essentially what is that? It's skin that's misshapen. Why is that so bad, you know? And who told us that it was? There's like this big general opinion that this is unattractive, but why can't I set my own trend and decide, you know, if I don't feel unattractive, why should I hide it?
Everybody's seeking perfection all the time, aren't they?
We're so hard on ourselves, aren't we?
Yeah, it's bad. It is
But
really
the high
bad.
ratings for your series mean that you will have reached many, many more people and got your message across, sure.
I hope so, I really do. And I hope it's, you know, not just people watching, because it's not sensationalised to come and watch and see how bad we all look. It's not so empathetic that it's a victim, you know. I think it should be, it's accomplished people with partners, careers, and, you know, disfigured doesn't mean dysfunctional, you know.
Katie, it's been lovely to meet you. It's Katie Piper, everyone. Thank you so much. Time for another break. Coming up, would you turn down a wedding invite if your partner wasn't invited? Back to you.